Welcome, welcome. It's weird to fully express and not to fear the expression. I feel as if the carnival, the idea of a carnival became very normal as the entertainment. Imagine sort of the movie, the TV show as the sort of invention to sort of capture, not to just spread information, but to sort of capture the 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 style, but also the culture in this framework that is sort of similar to a carnival, where you have all these acts and these freaks and these showmanships and these people who are different by choice or by circumstance alone. And the framework of the public, or the image of the culture, it just doesn't fit for these sorts of people, right? Or these ways of existences. I almost imagine um, how do I say this? I almost can imagine that when you express yourself, you're just moving, or you're just sort of creating energy, right? You're like the fly, and it gets sort of lost in its, motion, and then it happens to end up in a web, maybe. The fly is the imagination. The fly is the story, the narrative being told, the current of energy. The web that the spider was weaving, right? And that is kind of placed to catch the fly, right? What I'm getting at is the bundle of energy that the fly kind of emits and holds is this it's the same source of energy that the spider has and took to sort of build the web, right? Now, from our perspective, we could think that the spider thought, like outthought the the fly, but in reality it just adapted to its circumstance, to its natural, sort of prey. So, with that way of thinking, I can't help but view our sort of predicament of consciousness, Earth, space, the universe. I sort of imagine, like imagination or consciousness as the fly. And when we formalize the the set beliefs we think that are true to the reality, that we are measuring, or that we are sort of capturing, that's where the consciousness can exist and sort of fly around in that sort of landscape in which it's captured. But once it's captured, right? It's going to get eaten alive. It has to realize it's caught or accept its death. Remember, I am probably insane and I'm making no sense, but I'm getting to a point where the sort of metaphor I'm picturing in my head right now that I've been thinking about or trying to articulate and just writing and reading and observing. I, I'm trying to articulate that we're caught in a web. We're caught in a spider's web. But I mean, how we can change our behavior from that sort of concept, if we are the fly in this metaphor or whatever, is that we have the tools is to weave the web as well. Because we have the decision and the critical thinking power. Whereas these sort of non conscious, I don't know about non conscious, but with spiders and flies, right, they perceive the world differently. So, of course, they're just going to do what they do. But I guess the fascinating thing about us is we can take these sort of metaphors and then exit them to sort of analyze and change our behavior. Now, how do we even begin to really analyze certain situations we're surrounded in environmentally, let alone in a family sort of way? Because I'm really finding it hard to really emphasize the momentum we're in, the momentum of this current of thought and perception that is drastically shaping our world and future. It's it's rather alarming. And we need to start talking more, dialogue, creating conversations on a local level to really figure out what the fuck is going on. Because we've just lost the intimacy of kind of people. Everything's automated. Everything is it's handed to me. Hmm. Carry on.